Hey guys, it seems my camera is acting up again. I'm very sorry. I'm not sure why that keeps happening, so I probably have to restart this live stream. I'm gonna just try keeping it this way then. See if that's gonna work out. I hope it will stay like this. No, this is not working. For some reason, this YouTube app keeps messing this up. Like every time. It thinks my camera is upside down or something, but it's not. So, well, this is kind of not working. I'm trying to kind of adjust something here. There we go. It's not what I intended. Well, let's see if it is. It's gonna remain fixed this way. If that works, then I can just keep it like this. And, well, that's just how it's gonna be. So, sorry for this. I will need to get this fixed and see how that, why that keeps happening and stuff. See, now it keeps breaking. This is something that always happens when working with spirits. Just stuff breaking just right as I go live. So probably should have waited or something. Trying to keep it up straight a little bit. It's easier said than done. I will start very soon. Now I need to unscrew this whole thing. Look. This sucks. Well, maybe someone doesn't want me to do this video then. That's kind of messed up. Let's see if this holds. No. I may just have to make a new event. Well, I'm sort of back. I literally taped my camera onto the computer because it's the thing that's holding it is literally just broke. So there is that, and that's just how we're gonna have to do it tonight. And I hope this will kind of hold it in place. And if it falls, I guess. So, well, to everyone who is currently here, I think it's kind of a quiet night. To everyone else joining in later on, welcome to yet another video of mine, and thank you for joining me tonight. Well, tonight I will be spending some time with Lucifer in a kind of a similar fashion as I did with the other spirits. Just kind of appreciating him a bit. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, you can just leave them in the live chat or in the comments. Um, I will be lighting him some incense. This is it's a bit of a special incense for me. This is it's called it's from Japan. It's called Morning Star. Um, the company is called Morning Star, so I thought it fits. And it has a what's it called, gardenia. It's made of gardenia flowers, which is kind of a personal something personal for myself, like my personal contact with him. And I got this lovely little incense holder that came with it. It looks really nice. And here, that's the sigil I'll be using to place it on. So there's this one. That's that. Next, I will be giving him this swan feather. I've had it for a while, kind of been sitting around actually, so this is kind of it's something personal, very personal. It's I'd say he's been using the swan imagery to communicate with me a lot. So it just makes sense that this feather is his, and I'm going to give it to officially give it to him right now. It's just fits with him in so many ways. Like, yeah, he's such an elegant, kind of mysterious being. Like, in the meantime, I can just share a bit of stories about him, or if you have anything you'd like to know. I'm just gonna hold this in the incense a bit. This sort of, for me, this personally, this just sort of matches the gardenia incense and the swan feathers. Thanks to me personally, Lucifer has been talking to me for a very long time, and for a while I did not, for the majority of the time I did not know that it was him. So I have a lot of these symbols scattered throughout my experiences that are all linked to him. And basically I'm still finding out what's what. I'm still discovering new symbols and puzzle pieces that were actually his all along. So this is actually kind of one of them, I'd say. And this is just my personal way of, I'd say, acknowledging that and appreciating his presence in my life. So yeah. I'm just kind of holding it above the smoke. Also, as you can see, I got some candles. Let's see if I can put them closer to the camera once I'm done with this. I'm just kind of doing what feels right. Now, I think a lot of you that are watching are actually quite aware that Lucifer is not what the Bible says or what Christianity says he is, but I can just, for those who are kind of new to this, I can talk a little bit maybe about his personality. I'd say he's one of the most gentle spirits, the most gentle beings even that I know of. And in a way, I suppose if you're going to be an adversary in a sense that like you're a scapegoat, and if you're going to take the blame for all the misery in this world, it's kind of like a service. But on the other hand, I think you would have to be a very gentle being to be able to deal with all that. Um, if you're very aggressive by nature or very like unforgiving, I'd say you wouldn't like. Maybe it would be a lot harder to deal with all the nastiness that is sent his way, and in a sense, he's kind of providing. I think he's providing a service, taking the blame for stuff, and yeah. So I think he's actually one of the most trustworthy, nice, friendly spirits I've ever met, for sure. That's um, he's kind of in a way, sort of the first spirit I have met, I guess. Well, for me, that timeline is a bit mixed up, but I kind of trust him with everything, like 200%. Whereas with other spirits, maybe I might need some time and get to know them a little bit. But if it's about him, like as they say in Dutch, it's like a blind trust. Um, and he's never betrayed that. He doesn't screw you over. That's just so. He's such a kind, loving nature. Um, so yeah, he just deserves some. I'd say some attention, something nice for him as well. um, I think probably some of you have seen the candles I made for him. Some of my older videos. Actually, that probably works better with the lights off. But yeah, it's all kind of intuitive. Basically, most of the things that I do, new things that I'm experimenting with or I've never done before with a spirit, I just do them with Lucifer first. So usually most of my first spirit related artworks are all his as well. And it's basically, it's because I trust him so deeply. And also that I trust him that if I do screw up, he's gonna be forgiving about it. And I'm not saying that other spirits are not like that, but for me personally, that's what he is, I guess. I got this one as well. I'm still not sure what these signs mean. if anyone has any idea what this could be, like these signs that are on the shell, just let me know, because I have no idea. This is sort of what happens when making spirit artwork. You just make these things that, I just saw there's some dust on there. You just sort of make these things that you don't know what they mean. Hey Ender, seeing you just now. Thank you. So yeah, also I'm kind of just showing off all the stuff I got for him. Yeah, I really enjoy spoiling him. Like this necklace as well. It's his design, I'd say. It's kind of infused with his energy, and it's kind of all sorts of like beads made of what's it called, crystals and minerals and stones. And he had me, well, I had him pick out the what sort of stones to buy, and let him guide me on that, as well as to design like the order in which it was put on the necklace. And then I got this one as well. It's a bracelet. Also just his design. And as you can see, it shows that to those of you who have never really met him, or kind of new, you can see he's actually a very bright, colorful personality. He really likes colorful things. It's certainly not all black and stuff, because I like black a lot, but he really, when I work with him on things, he really has me using all sorts of neon colors and just very colorful stuff. Now, next up, I'm gonna pour him some beer that he likes. And this is another typical example. Like, I go find him something nice, and this is what he picks out. Like all the colorful, like a pink elephant. So yeah. He has some other necklaces that are his too. I've got some other. I can't keep it all, like, yeah, there's not enough space. Basically, he is very spoiled. In the meantime, I guess I can tell you guys a little bit about some work I did with him. Something he helped me with, and as well as a friend of mine, who I will of course keep anonymous, because this is very, this is some heavy stuff actually. And also I'm not gonna pour this one out, because I don't have it. Oh, look at that. It's, yeah, I guess this is a sign, like it's coming up from the bottle. I'll just leave it like that for him. Like he's gonna have it. So, in the meantime, yeah, the story I wanted to tell. So, a friend of mine, like, I think it was somewhere last year. Now, she is in the UK and I'm in the Netherlands, so we're literally like we're like, there's a sea in between, so not very nearby at all. And she sent me a message that she was in, basically she was in distress, and it was really, really, like, this was happening real time, as they say, like at that very moment. So she told me, she had already told me a few things, that she had an abusive ex-partner that was still living in her house. Now, well, not it didn't turn to physical abuse yet, but like he was not very nice to her and things like that. And she sent me a message that things had gotten out of hand, and she was literally waiting outside because she was scared of him. Like she said like he's gone insane. He's trashing the room, and she's terrified. She said she's waiting for the police, but she's afraid for him to come out, like that he would come and chase her and beat her up. So what I did, I asked Lucifer for help immediately. Um, he did tell me like that he needs her consent because that person she is not much of an occultist. Like she's more on the lighter side of things. So he wanted to be sure that she is okay with that. It's him helping her. So that just kind of shows that how correct he is in that sense. That like he's really really sweet. I'm sorry for fiddling with my camera. It keeps. I just don't want it to fall. So next thing. So yeah, she says okay, that's okay. She was a bit hesitant, but she was like okay, let's just try this because she was really really scared. And this was all happening in like a few minutes. And the next thing, so I go into meditation right here as she was waiting outside, and Lucifer tells me that I am going to help her. And I said, I don't know how. And he says, just, he told me to basically follow his lead, and he would guide my, like tell me what to do. And I would send energy to her. He told me exactly what type of energy to send and how to do it. And it form a sort of an egg around her. I visualized her standing outside her house, and she had this egg of energy like a shield. So literally almost the same moment. And I tell you, this sounds crazy, but you can't make this up. So like maybe a few seconds later, like I did that shell thing, and I get a like ping message, and she says, "Oh no, he's coming in my direction now. He's coming outside. He's coming, and I can see like he's looking angry. He's walking towards me." And I kept as she was saying that. I kept trying to focus on that shell, like that egg thing. And the next message was like, she said, "Oh my God, he just walked right past me." She said she told me that literally his expression changed. He just, I think he even said hi or something, and he just walked past her. Like he went from angry to neutral, and he just he wanted first he really wanted to beat her up, and then next he just stopped, just walked past and went back inside. So now this whole thing it continued on for a while, like the police coming and stuff. I mean, this was not like just this small thing. She told me she had been trying uh, to get him caught by the police, but you know, in a lot of cases, the police doesn't really do anything unless the aggressor, if that's a word, is caught red-handed. Yeah, red-handed. Like, have to be sure that they did it. And she's been having a lot of trouble with that. Now, so Lucifer gave the both of us, or her specifically, some instructions. Um, so next day, he was taken to jail. So, like, actually had to do proper jail time. And meanwhile, she lost her job, but actually got a better job for it in its place. So that's just, I wanted to share this because this is really one of the, I think, one of the signature ways that Lucifer can help. And it's been really amazing because not only did she get rid of that bastard, like he was finally out of her house, just gone into jail. And of course, all sorts of psychological guidance to get him back on track and stuff. And it also allowed her to forget about him, you know, to disconnect because he was in jail, so he was not there for her to, like, you know, sometimes women, probably men too, they keep coming back to this abusive relationship because I guess it's a form of brainwashing in a sense. But if that other person is in jail, it's, of course, it becomes much easier to let go of them. And really, like, that guy going to jail, it was really quite a miracle. Hey, Miss B. So that was really some great work, and I think she just really there was like this overall benefit because she never directly asked him for getting that better job, but she did, like, get better, paid better and stuff. So it was like an overall life upgrade. And there's also this other thing that I think, I'm like 99% sure that Lucifer did it. I'm gonna do my signature thing as well. It's gonna take a sip of his drink. And then I'm gonna open mine later on. And I got him some cakes because I asked him what does he want for tonight. And in his usual vague way, he said something with teeth. So I just took it as something that will leave a tooth mark or something, because we're gonna share. I'm gonna take a bite from his, and I think he agreed. These are not homemade because this is all very last minute, but they're nice anyway. So there it goes. And of course, he too has his own offering jar, as you can see. That's a really, like, a good tip, especially if you live in an old house like I do, that in winter times it's a bit prone to mice, which is very annoying. But I have to keep the lid on things like offerings and stuff. So for spirits that I work with on a regular basis, I make them a little jar, like this empty jar, but that I can put a lid on it, and I paint the sigils on it, like on the underside, so that it really becomes something nice for them. So now I give him a little bit of my piece. I'm actually not very hungry, but I'm eating this kind of as a ritual, I guess. So yeah. feels kind of weird to be eating on camera. I don't know why that is. I'm just gonna put mine back. So another little anecdote I wanted to tell is, well, a good friend of mine, he was renting a room, but the house, like his landlady sold the house, so he had to get a new apartment. But there's a lot of scarcity with apartments here. By the way, I think my pets are very noisy, so sorry for that. Oh, you want some chocolate, Ender? Yeah, you should come over here sometime. I got plenty of chocolate. So yeah, that's something I'll be telling about as I give some blood offerings. I forgot to catch my lancet. See, I'm really spoiling him. So, another thing, yeah, my friend, he was searching for a house, and he had been like searching for 6 months or something, maybe even longer, and just nothing, there was nothing for him. And he was about to become homeless almost, and not even because of money problems, but because there was no house. Like nothing was available for him within his budget, of course. So I didn't even specifically ask, but I was about to take my friend in, even though I don't really have space for another person here. But yeah, I did some kind of desperate measures, and I did ask Lucifer to, if it's possible, to just help him find a space to live, and just not make him go homeless. Now this guy, he is not spiritual, like, as far as I know, he doesn't really believe in spirits as such. But still, like, very soon after I made my concerns clear to Lucifer, and this is very weird, kind of dark, I guess that could be Lucifer's darkness. But the landlady's husband, so kind of the landlord in a way, but he was not the owner of the house. He died. So, and in fact, it seems he was murdered. So it was kind of something that was about to happen. Like, a lot of shit just came to the surface, and like, he was murdered by a drug dealer or something. No one knew of his drug problem, or gambling, something like that. And suddenly this whole house sale, of course, it was like that deal was off because he was murdered inside that house. And some thought it was suicide, like it looked like a suicide, but it wasn't, like, I'm not sure. So it's kind of dark, in a dark way, but it had to happen because it was about to happen anyway. And it did mean that my friend got to stay in that house for another year or so because that deal was off. And it allowed him to actually find a really nice place where he lives right now. So that's kind of like these drastic things that Lucifer does. It has his signature all over it. Hey Ginny. So yeah, that's something. It's kind of nice, and yeah, there's a lot. I've seen a lot of these things that Lucifer just goes sort of. I wouldn't say straightforward, but well, in his actions, yes. It's not in his communication. He's very bordering shy, I'd say. Like as they say in Dutch, like if you want to know something, you have to watch the smoke signals. He's very cryptical and the opposite of direct, but if he does something, like takes some sort of action, it's often like straight from A to B. Like perhaps in a sense the road of least resistance, but it's not always the easiest on the human side, I'd say. But yeah. On the other hand, like if he does these drastic things, it's always for a reason, and it always turns out to be good for you. That's what I see. Like I see him breaking up couples only to find someone better, like someone more suitable. I have a very good friend who's had a really, really rough time when basically uh, Lucifer broke him up with his girlfriend at that time, and he was very angry at some point, um, to the point that he wanted to kind of blame he wanted to blame Lucifer and just became very depressed. But now, like a year later, he's about to be married to this nice young lady. So it all worked out well. Like it had to be, just had to be done. So yeah. If you have any questions about Lucifer or comments or something you want to share, just go ahead. And if not, then I'm just gonna be sitting here enjoying this lovely incense. I really like it a lot. I have to have my own beer as well. Let's see if this works. I guess it does. Yeah. I can clean this up later on. So yeah, that's kind of. I also noticed he likes art. He likes to help out with that, kind of like King Paimon in a way. But over the years, even from times before I knew him as Lucifer, I'd say one of the strongest things I have learned from him, what he taught me, and what I think he can teach others as well, is I'd say energy work. How to send energy, how to heal, how to visualize. Like he has taught me so much. Like basically, he was teaching me magic before I even knew what magic is, in a sense. So there's a lot of these things that I learned from him that I am now slowly finding out that there's words for it. Like this energy work things. Um, for instance, he also taught me to even replace energy and the different colors and what should be where, what color should be where on an energetic body or energy body. It's just so much, like so much of it is also one of the things he taught me about, and that one is very interesting. Um, he taught a few things about healing through what I later found out to be the, I think, the human assemblage or assemblage, yeah, the human assemblage point. It's kind of um, I believe it's an Aztec, it's Mayan concept of that the energetic body is kind of flow, like the energy flows in circles. There's one circle above and one on the lower part, and the part where these two circles meet is what they call the human assemblage point. And a lot of healing can be done through that by adjusting it, the angle and the placement and things like that. But the thing is, I had never heard of that. He just showed it, like he just told me, put your hand like on his energy body, to put one hand on his chest and the other hand on the back of kind of the back of his neck or his upper back, and just move. Like I said, just move it to the right. Like I would see these points flashing, and just move it there to the right points. So I told this to a friend of mine who is Mexican and who's much more versed in Mayan and Aztec culture. I just told him like, hey, I dreamt of this and that, and saw this in a meditation, and he was like, wow, that's. And then he sent me the information about this human assemblage point. So it was really nice. It was really like a confirmation for me that that stuff is all real. But this was all already before I knew he was Lucifer anyway. So yeah, I guess that just shows maybe that's a bit of a talent of his, in a way, to teach energy healing. Uh, he's been teaching me how to send shields, how to shield myself, but also shield others. And so far it's been working, and it's been really nice. So it's definitely kind of a light worker. So yeah, and I think things are continuing to unfold in a way as to what he's been doing. I'm glad I kept a diary like for 15 years now. So there is a lot of digging to do for me, like a lot of new information that maybe he told me like years ago. So there's like 15 years worth of meditations and dreams and stuff to dig through. Yeah, it's all good fun. If you have any questions, maybe a question for Lucifer, I'm not sure if he wants to answer that, but feel free to give it a try. I mean, he's here anyway, so. And if not, I'm just gonna continue this a bit more. Nice, very, very strong energy right now. The big blue dude. That's Lucifer. That's another thing I could touch upon a little bit. There seem to be several spirits that have access to the name of Lucifer. Um, I'd say you could say there's one, like the like the real Lucifer. I'd say the one that most people will get to if they look for um, basi- the, basically the nice guy that wants to help out humanity. They will probably very likely end up in contact with the same Lucifer that I see. Yeah, I think. Well, to me, there seems to be an entire race of blue-skinned entities, such as Shiva, for instance. He's also one of them, but Lucifer is also. To me, the Lucifer I see, has a blue skin, but some people see something entirely different, and usually I think I kind of came to a conclusion that the darker Lucifer that people often see is very likely to be Samael instead, as Samael is also a light bringer. He has access to the title, and now this is maybe very out there, but I think chances are that if you're going to call upon Lucifer with a lot of red and black um, colors and kind of expecting more of a devilish uh, spirit, that it is a big chance that Samael will be showing up. And this is not um, him fooling you or anything. It's just that um, he too he too works through that same sigil and same title in a sense, and there may be others as well that are linked to it, and it just will probably suit to what you're asking for a bit more. Also, usually the Lucifer I know is more like a god and not much of an angel. Um, Actually, in my opinion, he actually has nothing to do with the Bible. Whereas Samael, he is that fallen angel, I'd say, or yeah, that's more likely to be him. If like chances are, if that's what you want to see, um, he is who you're going to get. So about weight, not sure. Oh right, sorry, I haven't looked everything up in the chat. Kind of behind on things. So yeah, the Lucifer I see is a blue guy with blonde hair or silver hair, and kind of big. Yeah, but yeah, wouldn't say a giant either. Just a big guy, big blue guy. I got his portrait right here. Look, it's kind of. He has these sort of Asian eyes to me. I think a lot of you have already seen this, but can't hurt to show them again. So yeah, that's my Lucifer. And yeah. He also has a very something like a Roman or ancient Greek. Well, as I said in another video, I personally connect him to the Egyptian god, to Thoth. If that's not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but certainly Hermes. And I think in that sense, Hermes is one of the light bringers. So that's kind of, well, that's the Lucifer I talk to, I'd say. And I think it's also part of the reason why he's connected to so many gods. I think, well, it just has to do with his job. Like he connects, and in his own words, when he, I did make another video on this, so kind of repeating myself here, but the reason why he is associated with so many other deities and often mistaken for them is because when he does his job as a light bringer, bringing knowledge and enlightenment from the source or other deities, other gods, the collect, even I'd say even the collective consciousness, if you will. When he does that, he has to connect to them in order to properly do his job. And as such, he becomes them for a while. So he sort of carries all these traces of all sorts of being. He carries them with him and makes all these links, and it's kind of a result. It doesn't mean that he is all of them, like not really in that sense, but it's a result of his job as a light bringer. So yeah, to me that's the same thing Hermes does. And this is all, of course, very much unverified personal gnosis, but he's given me some very clear signs that that's him. Yeah. And still need to dive in a little bit further about the thought connection. But yeah, I guess it's one of those things to keep on the back of your mind, I'd say. And I think that's probably the reason why I wonder if, I mean, a lot of people do agree that Satan is a title, but if you keep in mind that the name Lucifer is really just, it's a Latin word. It's a job. So in a sense that maybe that's something we could also try to find some common ground on. That's why people see different, so very, like, not just a little different, but there's like some vast differences between the various Lucifers that people see. And maybe it's because they really are talking to separate beings that have access to the title of Lucifer. And that's what I think. Because it's not his real name, of course. But I do believe that there's this common, like, the god Lucifer, like the blue guy with the blonde hair is one of the more common forms, I guess. And speaking for him, like, he's a really nice, very powerful but very gentle, like a gentle giant. And I definitely recommend him for beginners as well, as he's powerful enough to protect you if needed. But there's this misconception also that you have to start at the, like, if you're going through this hierarchy thing, that you have to start at the bottom. But I say if you start at the bottom, you're gonna have to deal with all these sorts of, like, lower spirits that might not have your best interest in mind. But if you deal with the more ascended spirits, such as Lucifer, he's so very kind. Like he's not gonna screw you up. Like it's probably one of the best spirits to start with, as long as you don't anger him, of course. I mean, so like if someone tells me they made Lucifer angry, I'm usually just like, what the fuck did you do? Like how if he the when he gets angry, like in that case you must have really really messed up, because he's very very forgiving and easygoing. But yeah, of course he has his limits, but when that is reached, that means you must be some jerk for sure. Or just a major big misunderstanding or something. But yeah, just don't, even if you're a beginner, just don't shy away from him. I mean, just because he is higher ranked and he has a famous name doesn't mean that you cannot start out with him. He's just very very nice, and he loves to teach. So yeah, and with that, if I'm gonna see, I don't think anyone has any questions right now. So in that case, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Just gonna leave a few minutes maybe, because the chat is a bit slow. If there's anything you'd like to know about Lucifer, or just send me a question, or and I'll get to you. Thank you, Ender. Love you too, guys. And Lucifer, of course. Miss B, that's great. Yeah. I guess I just had to do this then. I mean, I could, for the others, I had a very clear reason, like the Belial, I'm sorry, Belial video I did. I was very clear, like, I had to set something straight, but this was like, I've done videos about the other spirits, and actually, the one I'm closest with, I left him out, so I cannot leave him out, of course. He's kind of always been there. Maybe, I think my neighbor's coming. I'm still in the closet. So, yeah, I couldn't leave him out. Well, with all of that said, once again, definitely give him a try. And if you want to learn about energy work, artwork, maybe even, I'd say, the art of teaching, that's another thing. Because many people may know things, and you may have the information, but there is like an art of passing on that information. That's a different thing. And yeah, I need to wait a bit. Okay, coast is clear. Sorry for that one. But yeah, passing on information and teaching. Teaching is an art, like, is something, a skill on its own, I think. And I'm pretty sure maybe that's something he can help us too, because he is a teacher. So yeah, and I think some maybe aspiring occult teachers would really perhaps enjoy that. So yeah, there's that. And well, my incense is about to be, it's almost done now. I am going to thank you guys for watching again, and wish you all a good night. See you next time.